It's over, Corey. At least it's over for this season.
Yep.
Florida
the
State.
Norvell era?
No, just the season. Florida State loses in the swamp, 40-21. Jaden Baugh just ran for another touchdown. I'm pretty sure. Really, just an ugly defensive performance for Florida State. The offense wasn't great, but the defense was worse. And a game that was pretty close early in the second half. At halftime, it's a 3-point game. Florida State's moving the ball early in the second half. They go for it on their own side of the field, get stopped, give up a touchdown a few seconds later, and that was pretty much a wrap. Florida State ends the season 5-7. They are not going to a bowl game. Florida improves to 4-8. They're also not going to a bowl game, but they're going to get a new head coach, so at least there'll be some positive conversation there.
There is a chance their head coach is worse than Norvell.
Well,
not a great one, but there is a chance that he's worse than Norvell. Hey, Florida State fans, at least you know who your head coach is going into next year, right?
Congratulations.
Take some solace in that. There's some stability.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say, man. Like that's a bad Florida team. Clearly, they're 4-8, and they made you look like a high school team. You remember Danielson, Bowden's last year saying this is like the varsity versus the JV on the line of scrimmage, especially their offensive line versus what you have on defense in that front seven. It was the varsity versus the JV. I've said for a month now, they got to go get a quarterback. We all understand that. A quarterback brings hope. For heaven's sake, man, get some guys up front. We know the Desirs can play, but the linebacker play, the other defensive linemen, you are just not a physically imposing, violent, fast, urgent football team.
To me, this was a game where it was going to really come down to who wanted to be here, and I thought we would probably figure it out pretty early, and we did. I mean, Florida's offensive line was kind of mashing Florida State's defensive front.
And celebrating and talking smack about it the whole time.
Well, it was two very average to below average teams, two not very disciplined teams, two teams that like to talk a lot of trash after every game, despite the fact they came in having 8 wins combined. And so Florida was there to be beaten. If Florida State could have played well and gotten a lead, I think the same thing might have happened to them. This was a game, again, both of these teams, it was to see who really wanted to be here. And once Florida got a lead and started establishing Jaden Baugh, Florida State did not look like they wanted to be here, certainly not defensively.
I thought even in the second half, again, who cares really that much about this game? I mean, I know you do, but I'm saying like, they could have been 6-6 if they'd have won. It wasn't like they had a national championship on the line with a win, but like, the second half, they get a stop on that first drive. Desir gets the sack. A 3-and-out with a sack. 2 sacks. You get the ball right back. You've already just cut it to 17-14 right before the half. Then you get the ball back, and you get a first down. Deuce has his typical – and Deuce has been awesome. This is going to sound like a critique. I don't mean it to because it would have been a great catch anyway. But he double catches the ball a good bit sometimes.
That was one where it
would have been a great catch, but it looked like he caught it. Right. He didn't. And then Pittman gets it to 3rd and 1. Roydell Williams is in the game because they just basically do like they do. I think Gus does a magic 8 ball and says who should be in the game now, and he's got the 8 ball especially fit where he's got running backs' names in there. It doesn't say the stuff that an 8 ball normally says, and then it said Roydell Williams, so he gave the ball to Roydell Williams, first meaningful carry since I don't know. Last year, their first game of the season, gets stuffed the line of scrimmage on a play that was there for at least 2 or 3 yards. And then Tommy goes around right in on 4th down where he dives. I thought he got the first down. The review didn't, and neither did the refs, and there you go. They get the ball right back, go 3 plays, score, kind of ball game.
That moment to me, when Florida State gets the ball, they get a stop, they get the ball offensively, and I think if they score there and go ahead, I think Florida may fold.
But does that ever happen with this coaching staff and this coach and this program right now?
You don't get it, and now they go in and score in 3 plays, and you're full. You know, the other thing about that decision, though, I don't know, man. This has been 6 years of Mike Norvell going for it on his own side of the field. He said they have a really high percentage rate in 4th and short. Is that true this year?
I don't know. This game it wasn't because they were 0 for 2 on 4th down, 4th and shorts. But, yeah, I mean, look, they did it against Alabama, and they put the game away on that drive. They did it from their own 34.
That was this year, Corey.
I know. Can you believe that? And so when you look at the big picture, man, look, we know he's coming back. I hope, like, this might have been, and I know you say they were going to do it anyway, and I do think they are. They know he needs help. They know he needs lots of help, and they're going to try to give him a roster. We'll see what changes are coming. But you could convince yourself they were a few plays away with the roster they had coming into this game. Man, if you don't start slow at Clemson, if NC State this happens, or if Deuce doesn't juggle it here, blah, blah, blah. You got physically manhandled in this one. You can't convince yourself you're close to anything of importance when a 3-8, maybe the worst Florida team of the last 4 decades, puts up has one guy run for 266 yards and puts up 40 points. They didn't score 40 points in a month. and they put 40 points on you. You're not just a couple of plays here and there away. There needs to be a massive overhaul, obviously, of the roster, but maybe of the way you do everything. I'm talking about nutrition, strength, conditioning, both strength and conditioning. Some people are just conditioning fans. I'm a strength and conditioning fan.
Mike Norvell now is 0-2 against interim head coaches on this field 2 times.
He also
now.
lost to the Stanford interim, so he's 0, but he beat Virginia Tech's interim. So where you go, right?
And Kent State, I think.
Man, he kind of went. So 2-2 against interims this year.
But now that's 4 years now and 6 where Mike Norvell has failed to have a winning season. 4 years they've failed to go to a bowl game.
Yep.
And this is tough, man. This is going to be a tough offseason for this fan base. This is going to be a tough offseason for people around the program because you're looking at, to your point, Mike Norvell said that after the game tomorrow, they're going to start assessing and addressing everything they need to do with this football program. It's like, great, but who's making the decisions? And, there's going to be changes. We know that for a fact.
Hopefully Jared Verse.
There's going to be changes in the administration in terms of the front office staff.
Yep.
I believe they're going to bring in a new type of general manager type person to oversee those personnel decisions. But is that Mike Norvell's hire?
Yes,
is that
correct.
Who's making those decisions? So it's going to be an interesting few weeks here for this football program. But
National Signing Day is 5 days from now.
Well, yeah, there's not going to be any impact on that. There's national.
No, but I'm saying we talked to him again on Wednesday, I guess. So we'll ask him about I think they're signing 30 kids. So we'll ask him about that. But yeah, maybe we'll get a little more clarity on what exactly the plan is, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that then the other part of it is just these players from a psyche standpoint. Man, this is.
How do you think their psyche is right now?
I mean, it's got to be brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking.
Florida. Think about the fact that Florida players feel better about where they are right now than your players do, and they don't have a coach, and they just went 4-8, and they feel better about where their program is, and who knows who the steward of that thing is.
They had won 3 games all season coming into tonight,
and one was Long Island.
They only scored over 24 points. Twice all season, and today they scored 40.
Yeah.
That defense was ridiculous. And now the big question a lot of people are going to know is what's going to happen with these coordinators. There's a lot of speculation about whether or not Gus Malzahn's coming back next year. Tony White, we don't know. Mike Norvell was asked about it after the game. Does he expect
time and place, right?
Does he expect coordinators to be back, or does he want to make any changes there? And he said that'll all be discussed at a time and a place. He said that there has been positive growth, and there has been to some degree, but there's also been a ton of disappointment. So I don't know, man. What do you think this team is going to look like next year in terms of personnel? Like how many defections do you think there's going to be from the roster, and how different do you think the coaching staff's going to be?
I don't care about the defections if you keep a handful of guys, right? By the way, McCoy might be one. He needs to stay healthy and be available. As I like to say, Ira, the best ability is availability. But LaWayne McCoy is a real one, man. That catch he made on that 4th and forever throw, and the plays he made in the middle of the field, he showed it all. And we saw a play where they didn't even get a positive play, but he blocked the kid and pancaked him. I like the way I like his makeup. I like what he's about. But yeah, I mean, most of them do you want them to stay? I mean, there's a nice core to build around.
I was going to say the difference between last year and this year's. Last year it was like you couldn't wait to get rid of so many guys. This year there are guys they need to keep.
Yeah.
But you wonder about their confidence, their belief in Mike Norvell, their belief in this program. After now you went 3-7 after starting the year. 2-7.
Yeah,
after
2-7
after starting the year 3-0.
2-7.
Yeah, man, we've seen a lot of losses, Corey.
It's ridiculous. I'm tired of it. I feel like when people listen to us on our podcast or read our stories, we think that we're making excuses and we're trying to excuse it away as if this is normal. This is not normal. We do understand why they kept them because of the financial repercussions, but that doesn't mean that we're excited about. Who's excited about this right now? You just can't be, because again, it's just the indignity. I keep coming back to that word. This fan base gets to feel good about itself tonight because at the expense of your football team, who has been, not to be rude, but has been an embarrassment for 2 straight seasons. And who's going to fix it? Who's going to fix it?
Yeah. A lot of
Not
questions.
Us.
A lot of questions. Florida State wraps up the season, as we said, 5-7. It is, man, it's going to be an offseason of questions. Last year, the difference was that we knew there were changes.
You knew Malzahn was coming, and I think had Tony White already been hired by this time?
I don't know, not by this point, but you knew that the coordinators had been fired. You knew more coaches were going to be fired as well. This one, we don't know. I mean, theoretically, you could bring this staff back. I don't expect that.
Why wouldn't you run it back?
Don't expect that. but we'll have to see.
And you're going to bring some players back, I think. And look, man, again, I'm not trying. There are some nice pieces to build around. I thought Cromaw had his best run in 2 months. I thought McCoy looked like McCoy was great. He's the best player on the team.
Makai Danzy
had a really nice touchdown, and he's a player. We all know that. We don't know what Deuce is going to do.
We don't know what Randy Pittman's going to do.
We also don't know what Tommy Castellanos is going to do. Now, he was asked
if
he would come back, would he want to come back to Florida State? And he said absolutely. If he came back, this is the only place he'd want to come back to. But we don't know if he's going to be asked back, if he can even be eligible to come back.
He's appealing to get a 5th year, but it's
murky. And look, he said after the game, and I agreed with him. I thought it was one of the best games he's played this year. And what does that say when they lost by 19 points? Right. You know, he made some nice throws. He did stand in the pocket. He did show some drop back and run and ran for like probably 7 or 8 first downs. But at the end of the day, you scored 21 points, and you had a horrible fumble. You didn't get that first down, although I thought you did. They said you didn't. You had 2 4th down turnovers and a fumble, and then you throw a pick at the end, but that was neither here nor there. But, yeah, man, they've got to get better across the board. Right. I brought this up to you, and the Desir twins are good. They might have a chance to be great. How much bigger and stronger are they going to get? I want to see all that, man. I want to see that Florida team, who is not good, just looks physically dominant to you, and why?
The one thing I'd say about that, though, is Florida in the trenches is as good as probably anybody in the country.
Why?
Their quarterback play was terrible.
Yeah.
Their defense kind of quit, I feel like, at different points of the season. That's a bad football team that
has some talent.
Yeah. It's not like a shock that they look good.
Now it's time to go get some talent yourself physically. You know, go get big on the line of scrimmage. Go get physically dominating on the line of scrimmage. And please go get a quarterback. And then go see what happens, because it's going to be – we got 9 months until they play again. Nothing about this season means that next season has to be a failure. It just doesn't, man. Vanderbilt might make the playoffs, man. Vanderbilt just won 10 games. Indiana is in the playoff. Like, it is a new day. You can get Florida State. There are a lot lesser programs in Florida State that are contending for the playoffs and are going to be in the playoffs. So it's not over forever. And it might not even be over forever with this guy. But by God, who trusts him right now after another debacle on the road? 2 straight years without winning on the road, Ira?
Do you enjoy that sound of silence, though, Corey?
No
heavy machinery behind us?
It's crazy. And also, I'll tell you this. There was a guy that about 5 minutes ago that stopped in his tracks when he saw us recording. And I waved him by, and then he ran past to not be in our shot for long. So they just do it different in the SEC, I guess. They just do it different in the SEC. Maybe you'll be a Gator fan, Ira.
Maybe it's a new day.
It is a new day. Wake up, or this show is really starting to take off, and people know.
The Warchant WRAP is always brought to you by Cummins.
Of course.
You go to Instagram, search for CumminsLifestyle.
Generate some coaching staff changes and some roster changes, Ira. Right?
There you go. That's what we say. Listen, stay connected to warchant.com. As we said, there is going to be a lot of changes. We don't know what they're going to look like, and we can't promise you they're going to be the right changes, because they made a lot of changes last year, and it got you not a whole lot.
What did you think, real quick before we go? I like Tony White. I think he knows what he's doing. I like his personality.
I did not like this defense.
I did not like the defensive performance at all. I also wonder how much, other than putting 7 or 8 on the line, what can you do when you're that overmatched physically?
Well, you can put 7 or 8 on the line.
Yeah, you can make adjustments. That kid is awesome, and you got manhandled.
Mike Norvell said that stopping Jaden Baugh was a top priority for them, which would make sense. He's their best player, and he ran 38 times for 266 yards.
Yep.
Mike Norvell called it a complete failure.
It was a complete failure. Would you agree with that it's a complete failure?
I would agree that it was a complete failure. And not just – again, man, it wasn't like trickeration. It's just, man, he's just running through guys. The last touchdown, he runs for a touchdown. If you stayed up for the whole game, or if you stayed watching the whole game, Florida is not just kneeling on the ball at the end. They're trying to score. Mike Norvell's calling timeouts.
Well, Mike Norvell's calling timeouts, so they should go try to score.
2 touchdowns, so they're trying to score. They put Baugh in the Wildcat. He goes in and scores a touchdown, but it's called back.
For a holding,
For a holding call. And then they just run him the other way, and he runs through Omar Graham and into the end zone.
Which again, no shots to players, I guess, if you don't want to hear that. But you've got to get better. You've got to get better people. You've got to get better athletes and better people and better football players.
All right. Stay connected to warchant.com. We're going to have all this coverage of all these changes that are becoming. Signing day is on Wednesday. A lot of coverage more from Gainesville. Corey's column is up. Plenty more coverage.
Pretty positive column, I thought, right?
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I feel like that's the mood. You really capture the mood of the fan base.
I did. Everybody's excited.
For Aslan and Corey and everybody at Warchant, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll talk to you next time on the Warchant WRAP.